The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien coming to you live from TFNN, 8:30 a.m. Thursday morning. As we speak, we're going to get the weekly jobless claims number. Always an interesting time of the week right now. Checking in on the S&Ps, we're getting a little bit of a pop as we come into 60 minutes to go until the opening bell. We have the S&Ps up about 8 points right now, trading at 27.96. With Nasdaq up 26 points at 86.64. Dow Jones up 23 points, trading at 23,375. All things considered, a pretty tame evening overnight. Jumping over to the charts, we'll start things off with the indices. There is your Dow. You see where we wrap up in terms of Wednesday, a little bit of a sell-off in the final 15 minutes across the board. On Wednesday, the market trades from 23,488. We sell off about 150 Dow points in the final 15 minutes, and we're right basically where we were last night. You see the trading range of about 200 points overnight, not that dramatic in the S&Ps. In the Dow. S&Ps currently trading at 27.97. You see the highs that were made at 28.03. Those highs also made yesterday before the sell-off at about 28.05. So bumping right up against that level right now. Nasdaq 100, much the same, coming up to where we were at about 3 a.m. Also where we were before a little bit of a sell-off yesterday. There's your crude oil chart. Crude actually catching a bid. Crude up a bit, $16.31, the price of crude. You see the action early yesterday, 8 a.m., trading from under $11 to over 16, I believe. Did we get there on this chart? Yes, 16.03 at 9:45. We're now above those price levels at 16.28 in the price of crude. And there's your gold contract. Quite an acceleration on gold as well. Gold up to 17.57. We've pulled back a bit from that level, 17.45 right now. And the euro-US dollar under 108. Euro trading at 107.83. In terms of other stories out there, awaiting the weekly jobless claims, 4.3 million is what they'll be looking for. And I believe that number, I'm not sure if it's out. Does anybody see it in the den maybe? But I have not seen it come across for the weekly jobless claims. Usually at 8:30, 4.3 million, that's what will be expected. We'll get that number at 8:30. The market really not reacting too dramatically to this number recently, as in all but expected. We've gotten huge numbers across the board. I believe it's 22 million already, the combined 4 or 5 week total since the coronavirus impact on the economy began. In terms of individual equities, so you have the CEO of Target on CNBC this morning. Cyber Monday sized online sales boom as shoppers avoid limit trips to stores during the pandemic. Interesting stuff in here. Target seen more than a 7% increase in same store sales for its fiscal first quarter. Wrap your head around that, folks. A 7% same store sales number. It would make sense, right? People flocking, stocking up. What they did say in here, though, is that when it comes to profits, number one, people are buying smaller, and there is the number as we jump around, 4.4 million. So pretty much in line with numbers, 26 million now, the total number of jobs lost. Their profits, the items people are buying, they're stocking up on low margin items. Okay, so even though same store sales are rising, with the cost rising, with people spending money on goods with smaller margins, we'll get into it, but that is what Target's saying, because pull up their chart, check out the action this morning. You would think 7% same-store sales in this environment might be a good thing for your stock, not when you say that it's going to cost a lot of money and people are buying items that potentially are lower margin. Quite the sell-off from almost 107 yesterday. We're now under 100. We're at 98.89 on Target. Some context for this stock, because now, again, we're going to open at about 100 right here, kind of fill in this gap area from April 7th to April 8th. And we're off of the 130 high versus Walmart. And Walmart taking a little bit of a hit this morning, but still Walmart bid ask 129.65 by 130.21, closed at 131.59, made all-time highs as recently as on It's that Monday, yes, April 20th. Quite a divergence in the charts, 7% same-store sales. I imagine in the long run, if 7%, if Target's growing the revenue they're taking in by that degree, that may be a good thing for that company in the long term. Tyson Foods. So you may see a shortage of pork, and I've been reading some articles. You know, if you're a huge meat fanatic, don't want to tell you to go stock up and hoard or anything, but you may see a decrease in the availability of some meats as some of the processing plants that require so many people are being shut down. In this instance, you have the largest pork plant going to go idle as Tyson, the virus slams the industry. Constant headlines coming out of this, but Tyson suspended operations Wednesday at an Iowa plant critical to the nation's pork supply. The plant can process 19,500 hogs per day, accounting for almost 4% of U.S. pork processing capacity. I mean, just like that, boom, 4% of the pork that hits the whole country, not happening. More than 180 infections have been linked to the plant. Yeah, it's about time they shut it down if there's hundreds of infections coming out of this one plant. Officials expect that number to dramatically rise. Testing of its 2,800 workers expected to begin Friday. Cases and hospitalizations in Black Hawk County have skyrocketed in recent days. It's coming a little hotbed of its own deal. Got to shut that down, get it fixed, can get it back on the line, but you got Tyson. You zoom it in, the action yesterday was tough, going from about 62 down to 59.92. We're going to open there. Tyson in the long run, quite the fall off from $94 down to 42 up to 60. Beyond Meat, jumping over to them. Always interested, that crazy high of 239, even 125 before all this pain in the market started, to under 50. We're going to open at about 89.10 for Beyond Meat. Other stocks with earnings out there to back it up. So Eli Lilly, LLY, earnings of $1.75 a share. That's pretty remarkable. So they're breaking down the economy. I'm just catching headlines on the top. The U.S. economy has now erased all job gains since the Great Recession. It's quite a number, folks, 20+ million jobs. Eli Lilly, $1.75 a share. They were only looking for $1.48, quite a beat. Revenue also above forecast. Lilly's worldwide revenue was boosted by $250 million due to COVID-19, but the company said the virus could negatively impact results later this year. LLY is their symbol. We'll zoom in on the shorter time frame. Quite an acceleration for them recently. And there you see the volatility up to 161. We're back to basically where we closed at as of yesterday on Eli Lilly. Hershey, they're out with their numbers. Missed estimates by 8 cents a share with quarterly earnings of $1.63. Revenue came in slightly below forecast. Hershey declared its regular quarterly dividend and said it believes it has sufficient liquidity to meet its cash needs. That's what you want to hear from companies right now, folks, because this will pass, and as long as you have liquidity, you'll be okay. But the market, not liking that they missed their numbers, regardless of what they say. From 143 down to 135, the conference call beginning when we came on the air. We'll see how that reacts. And as we come to break, let's check in on the VIX this morning. Relatively low volatility for a market, as I mentioned, overnight. We're actually up 8 points on the S&P now. You get the VIX 40.97 off of the highs we had on Tuesday at 47.77. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be coming back from the break, see what else we have on tap. Earnings numbers, companies with movement. 45 minutes to go until that opening bell. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back.
If you're in the CD market and looking for a secure investment, the Tiger First Mortgage Program may work for you. The security for these first mortgages are building lots in the Tax Opportunity Zone in St. Petersburg, Florida. The Tax Act of 2018 set up tax-free zones across the country where you can build and hold for 10 years and pay no tax on the profits, which makes these lots valuable. The investment is anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000. The interest paid is 7% yearly, paid on a monthly basis. According to Bankrate.com, the best rate for a 4-year CD in the country as of February 20th is 3.1%. A $50,000 investment at a normal 4-year CD rate of 3.1% would give you income of $1,550 per year or $6,200 over the 4-year period. That same $50,000 investment in the Tiger First Mortgage Program would give you $3,500 per year or $14,000 over the 4 years. Which would you prefer, $6,200 or $14,000 of interest on your investment? If you would like more information about the Tiger First Mortgage Program, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190. The gold market has taken off topside in a large way in 2020. If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my gold report. The Gold Report took profits in 4 of its equities in the gold portfolio in the first week of January for a combined profit of 99.2%, with 2 positions left in the portfolio that have a profit of 67.5% as of January 7th. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. S&P is positive by 7, 2796. Pretty muted response on that jobs number, 4.4 million. Weekly jobless claims number, bringing that total to 26 million jobs total. Checking in on some of the commodities, as we mentioned, gold contract catching quite a bid from Tuesday, 1666. You make it up almost $100 to the high pre-market this morning. We're talking about a high of 1757. We've backed off that high a bit. Where we were last Thursday, a week ago, 1768. So down $100, almost back up a full $100 in 5 trading days. Checking in on oil. Quite the volatile run in oil this week. You back it up to where we were in terms of coming into a week ago. Where's our transition? There's your Sunday night transition right here. We're trading at $25 basically Sunday evening. You go down to $6.50. The run up from there, pretty steady, just making basically highs that we go back to where we were on Tuesday in terms of haven't traded above those levels, getting above the high that we had actually at 9:45 a.m. this morning, that high of 1618. We're sitting at 1635 in the price of crude. Checking in on Bitcoin. Bitcoin with a little bit of volatility as well from Thursday up to 72.55, back down to 6,800 on Tuesday. We're at 71.90 on Bitcoin. Checking back to some of the equities with earnings. Blackstone out with their numbers. The private equity firm reported distributable earnings per share 46 cents, 4 cents below estimates. It also reported an overall loss due to the write-down of its investment portfolio. It did see a 20% increase in fee-earning assets under management compared to a year ago. BX is their symbol. You see the volatility there, up more than $1 right now from yesterday at 47.55 for Blackstone. Gap is going to be suspending rent payments due under its leases and is negotiating with landlords to defer and abate rents as long as virus-related closures continue. Gap also warned existing cash may not be enough to fund operations. There is the crutch of that statement. Gap, a tough deal anyway. You see the acceleration, though, from $7.11. We were flirting with $6.50. Currently at $6.67 for Gap. AstraZeneca, the Swiss drug maker, began late-stage testing of its diabetes drug Farxiga as a possible treatment for COVID-19 patients. This particular trial is aimed at reducing the risk of complications in patients with existing heart and kidney problems, AZN. Some of these biotech stocks, just crazy action. No real reaction on that, but check out the move. Longer term from 51 down to 36, and we're back at above $50 for AstraZeneca. Unilever withdrew its full-year forecast due to uncertain surrounding the coronavirus outbreak. The consumer products giant said it would pay its quarterly dividend as planned. Not too surprising. We're removing that guidance. Any CEO would, I imagine, be better served removing guidance right now in this stage of things. Delta plans to raise $3 billion through a debt offering and a new credit line. They're trying to mitigate the financial impact of the severe slowdown in travel. Delta, some of these airline stocks, my goodness, right? Delta just out with their earnings. Shorter time frame for this week. You see the acceleration from 24 down to 21, trading at about 22.73 right now. Marathon Petroleum warned it will take a roughly almost $8 billion charge for the first quarter due to the plunge in fuel demand and expects to report a quarterly loss. Marathon, this oil industry, I mean, yeah, we're up, but we're up from $3.88, and we were just down from $14 to start the year from Marathon. Las Vegas Sands reported a first quarter loss as the virus outbreak kept gamblers away from its casinos. The company expects a relatively quick recovery in its Asia markets. However, LVS, and we're going to open a bit higher this morning, down from 70 plus, and you see the acceleration. The one thing, I read an article yesterday from somebody from the Hard Rock. They were talking about Hard Rock Casino, saying it may take the better part of a full year to get things in full swing. They mentioned one of the casinos that they own somewhere in China. A month after opening, that occupancy at 12%, and that's in a bustling city in China. Things are not going to just turn the key and start and begin instantly. Interesting to read, some of these same hotels. Yeah, in a year, you might be back to business, but it could take a year before you're planning trips, staying in hotel rooms, eating at buffets, being at tables. I'm a poker player. It's going to take a long time, folks. A game like poker where you're handling cards, in a casino, you're handling chips, those chips getting passed around. Seems like the quickest way to potentially, if that virus is still out there, these casinos could see a struggling time for some time, imagining that scenario. We covered Tyson closing down their plant. Boeing sued for $336 million by Kuwaiti leasing company, which accused the jet maker of refusing to return advance payments on a now canceled order for 40 737 MAX aircrafts. As Boeing goes, the Dow goes, was the saying for a while. Boeing really taking it on the chin recently, though, even in the last, from Friday till this week, from 154 down to 136. A lot of instances where you could have tried to catch a falling knife on this. You see the acceleration from 89. Boeing made it back all the way up to 186 when the market was convinced, as they may be correct, that Boeing will be getting a bailout. They will not be going away. They are around. But if you tried to catch this anywhere from 180, 186, the high, we're $50 below that level. And the lows that we made, just for some context here, about 120, near at about 136 on Boeing shares. Lam Research out with their numbers, matched estimates with quarterly earnings of $3.98 a share, but the semiconductor equipment maker's revenue missed forecast. The company said customer demand for its equipment remains strong, even amid limited visibility on macroeconomic conditions. LRCX, some of these chip makers, from 344 down to almost 180, and we're going to open at about 265 this morning. There's your action on their earnings. Drops off pretty quickly after the bell last night. Conference call begins. Things liked, analysts liking what was said on that conference call, trading a bit higher, but still off about $6 so far this morning for Lam. Discover Financial Services, 25 cents a share loss compared to an expected profit. The financial services company's revenue matched street forecast. The loss stems largely from an increase in Discover's provision for credit losses to $1.8 billion. Wow, from $809 million. Thankfully, they're making those provisions because they're going to be coming, folks. DFS, I believe, yes. You saw some of the banks make those provisions in a big way, and you see the drop from 35 to 32, where this stock has been. I mean, my goodness, right? From January 21st at $85 down to $23 at one point. Sleep Number, they made $1.36 a share, well above 72 cents estimate. Mattresses revenue also topped forecast. The company is not providing financial guidance surprise, but said it expected to be able to meet its liquidity needs. That, again, the big number there, SNBR. It's their symbol. Quite a tough road. We're going to get a pop on the news, though, from 61 down to 15, But there's your acceleration all the way from 23 up to about 28. Quite a move, more than 20% so far this morning on Sleep Number. Checking in on some of the FANG stocks as we look towards the opening bell in about 40 minutes. There's your chart on Amazon. Quite a little sell-off there. We're talking about $37 in the last few minutes. You see that spike. Something going on there. No real volume yet on that number, though. Right now, yeah, as I say that, the bid-ask actually right at around 2,400, so right back up here. We just must have gotten one tick down at 23.63 somehow. Microsoft, another one of the companies that's held up relatively well in this market, up a bit at 174.20. How about Netflix making new highs constantly? But on that earnings, actually, adding almost 16 million subscribers, and we're still now under $420 on Netflix. Tesla shares up this morning as well. Stay tuned, folks. We'll come back to finish up the program.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. Getting a little bit of a pop in the markets right now. S&P is positive by 16 points around, trading at 2804. We get the Nasdaq up 53 at 8690. The Dow up 85 points. You see the acceleration. This is a 15-minute chart I have up there. Even in the last 45 minutes, trading up about 15 S&P points. We actually just peaked our head above where we were at about 2:30 in the morning. That high being 2805. We just reached a high of 2806.50 in the S&Ps with about 35 minutes to go until the opening bell. And jumping back to the jobs numbers. So weekly jobless claims this past week, 4.4 million. That now brings the 5-week total to 26.45 million. That number does exceed the 22.44 million jobs added to payroll since November 2009, when the U.S. economy began to add jobs back after the recession. Now, the one thing I will say is that this is skewed a bit by the fact of the number of people I hope and I expect will be hired back almost instantaneously when you get back open, right? So many people in the service industry, the retail industry, whatever industry affected, almost any industry touched in some way. All of those jobs basically going from 100% to 0%. Hopefully those jobs come back in mass. Some of the largest companies out there, right? Macy's laying off a number of people, Disney laying off 100,000, tens of thousands at least of people, all of that. But still pretty stark when you think about the fact that 26.5, we only added 22.4 since that date in 2009, and the recession itself was 8.7. I mean, we're going to see these numbers for the next week, 2, 3, even months potentially on the rise. And there's graphically what it looks like. I mean, just staggering numbers, folks, in terms of the weekly jobless claims. These numbers coming in, it was 3 and change. We were at 6 and change, and looks like we're now settling between 5 and 4. Maybe that number going down as people, if they're laid off at this point. And hopefully we get those things started back. We'll see what happens. This headline, we'll tie it in well, but the battle between Trump and now the Georgia governor after Trump cheerleading liberate and freedom the states. We'll see what happens. Georgia open tomorrow, though, for business. Stay tuned, folks. Larry Pesavento coming up live with Trade What You See at 9 o'clock. I'll be back at 10 o'clock with Tom. Live.